Welcome back to the show from House Education and Labor, Iowa Congresswoman Mariannette Miller-Meeks. It's great to have you back on, Congresswoman. We're getting reports coming in that parents across the country now are afraid to speak out at school board meetings. They're afraid of retaliation and intimidation from the White House. What do you say?
Wasn't that the purpose of the, Merrick Garland's comments, and the purpose of the School Board Association visiting the White House was to intimidate parents to not use their First Amendment rights to have interest and express discontent with their children's education?
We've got Governor Chris Christie. He looks like he's going to run in 2024. He went after the Biden Justice Department, Congresswoman, and the FBI for continuing to investigate school board parents as domestic terrorists. But Governor Christie called out the First Lady, saying Jill Biden is pulling the strings behind the scenes on this policy at the White House. Watch.
As a U.S. attorney who used the Patriot Act against real terrorists, what we assured people all the time, that we would never, ever use it in a way that was improper or inappropriate. And Joe Biden's Justice Department now seems to have broken that pledge. And it's outrageous. It is the National Teachers Union, the National School Boards Association, who has unbelievable influence in the White House because Jill Biden is one of their members.
Jill Biden, the First Lady, is a member of the NEA. There's not any proof that she's pulling strings. What do you think?
I think that what we have seen is that Merrick Garland testified under oath to the Senate that they would not be going after parents, that parents have a right to express interest in their children's education, and they in fact should do so. And we know from learning and education that when parents have an interest in their children's education, the children actually do much better. They are more successful in school. So I think this whole avenue of approach to teachers expressing an interest in their children's education, attending school board meetings, and then labeling them as domestic terrorists is absurd. And parents have a right to be interested. They have a right to be outraged. Violence, of course, we don't condone violence. But from what I've seen, there hasn't been violence committed by parents. There's just been parents expressing their frustration and their anger over what has happened at their schools. And let's not forget that parents have been teaching throughout the pandemic, watching what's happened with their children at school, and they've seen on video what goes on in those schools. So it's more than just what we have learned through the school board meetings and their dismissal of parents.
The incoming Lieutenant Governor-elect of Virginia, Winsome Sears, she's speaking out against critical race theory. It basically is racializing children to see each other in America as fundamentally racist. It teaches people to view every social interaction and people in terms of race. Reports definitively show this is happening and being taught in schools across the country in Missouri, Maryland, New York, and California, and more, Illinois, Virginia. Watch Winsome Sears push back on CNN here. Watch.
No. It is part of the curriculum. It's weaved in and out of the curriculum. In fact, in 2015, former governor, who was just defeated, McAuliffe, his state board of education had information on how to teach it, so it's weaved in. What we want to say, and what Governor-elect Youngkin has said, is that all of history must be taught, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because what we learn from history, Dana, is that we don't learn from history, and we continue to repeat the same mistakes.
Yeah, learn from the ugly history of racism and move toward a colorblind society like Martin Luther King wanted. What's your word on that, Congresswoman?
I wholeheartedly agree with the incoming Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears. Children are not inherently racist. We can see children playing, and it doesn't matter the color of the child next to them. Even if there's language barriers, they somehow communicate in play. So what this is teaching is that children should be ashamed of their color. They should be ashamed of their skin. They should consider themselves oppressors or victims. And that hurts the success of all individuals, and ultimately it hurts the success of our nation.
Okay.
So it is absolutely being taught, it is weaved into the curriculum. They can call it any name they want, but it is being taught in our schools all the way to elementary school, and we need to put a stop to it. And I think parents have a right to be interested and to be engaged and to push back against school systems and school boards.
Congresswoman Miller-Meeks, it's good to see you. Come back soon.